Grand Rising, everyone. I wanted to come and do a video on this because I think this is something that needs to be talked about. I have been watching a lot of videos from the YouTube channel Open Your Reality with Chad since I've discovered his channel, and I saw a video he did recently where he interviewed a man who was talking about Billy Carson. Now Billy Carson did an interview not too long ago with a Christian in a debate, and basically Billy Carson was torn to shreds verbally during that debate, and that basically his career is over because now everyone thinks that Billy Carson is a liar. Well, I would like to just say this because, this is what Billy Carson is. It is a trend in the world. Billy Carson, I used to listen to a lot of Billy Carson's videos. I used to listen to him talk. And Billy Carson comes from a place of ego. And unfortunately, you have a lot of people who come into the Anunnaki topic, the reincarnation trick topic, the prison planet theory topic, and they act as if, no one knows what I know. I'm the only one who knows the truth. And they act off of ego. And that's how Billy Carson has been acting basically since he came onto the scene. He's been acting in a state of ego. And if you have listened to my past videos, you know that ego equals loose energy. Because Enki and his archons, they want people in a state of ego. Because when you are in these states of ego, you are exhibiting negative emotions, arrogance, vanity, pride. No one is better than me. I am better than everyone else. And all of those emotions and feelings are negative. And negative emotions and feelings equal up to loose energy. So basically, for many, 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 many years, Billy Carson has been an open buffet for Enki and his archons. This is what made me stop listening to Billy Carson. And when I would tell other people about how Billy Carson was, I got vilified. Oh, you're just jealous. Oh, you. And now people are seeing exactly what I've been saying. Billy Carson runs off of ego. He claims to be an expert in ancient ancient history as far as the Anunnaki, or all of the ancient information regarding that. And this is the biggest hogwash that I've ever heard. No one is an expert. No one alive today, anyway, is an absolute expert in the Anunnaki. The only ones, to be really honest, who is an expert regarding the Anunnaki were the ones who were back there with the Anunnaki. The ones who were back there when the Anunnaki walked the land. Those were the only true, experts. No one knew the Anunnaki better than them. People of today, no, they're not experts, because there's a lot of things about the Anunnaki we still don't know. Hell, I was just talking with Chad about this on yesterday, and up until a couple of days ago, I thought that Anu, who is the head of the Anunnaki, had no parents. I thought he just was always there. When I did research and started digging, come to find out, Anu had parents, and his parents had parents, and their parents, and it went all the way back. And I found out even more information about the Anunnaki that I didn't even know before. So no one on this earth today is an expert into the history of the Anunnaki and the reincarnation trick and the prison planet theory. No one is an expert, because every day there's still new things that are coming into play that we didn't know before. And I find it funny when people use the word, oh, I'm an expert. No, even me, I have had experiences with astral projection. I have had experiences where I have gone to astral realms, but I am not an expert. There's a lot of things I don't know. A lot of things I don't know. And if I don't know a topic very well, I'm not going to speak on that topic. And I've noticed that Billy Carson, if he doesn't know a topic very well, he's going to pretend like he knows it very well. See, that's what you don't do. Because number one, when you do that, you're setting a trap for yourself. If you don't know anything about that topic, don't talk about that topic. Don't do it. Don't go off of opinions. You have to go off of research, and you have to go off of experience. And a lot of the things that Billy Carson has said is gone off of what he feels, not off of research, not off of experience. And he has told a lot of lies because he did not fact check. That's why I'm so glad that if I say something and I come and I later find out that what I said wasn't accurate, I'll come back and say, I said this, I thought it was this way, but come to find out it wasn't. So let me apologize to everyone who I told that it was this way, because it's not. Instead of just, oh, well, I said it was this way and I found out it's not, but I'm not going to say, I'm not going to come back and retract it. That's what Billy Carson has been doing. He has been telling a lot of lies that he didn't fact check, and instead of him coming back and saying, you know what, I thought that this was right, and come to find out it wasn't, and I apologize. He's still keeping up the lie, because with Billy Carson is based off of ego. And I've seen a lot of times where Billy Carson has put down other people who he feels doesn't know what he knows. And I see a lot of people that is involved in the Anunnaki research, the reincarnation trick, and prison planet theory research. I've seen them do this. They will put down others because they feel others don't know as much as they do. We have even got people in that whole entire circle, whereas they've gotten so big, they don't even respond to emails. They don't respond to people asking them questions. I have experiences. A lot of the people that you see in these interviews talking about the reincarnation trick and the prison planet theory, I've reached out to them and asked them questions, and they don't respond. They don't give information. And to be completely honest, the only one that I've really gotten true information from has been Wes Penray. Whereas if you email him, it may take up some time, but he'll respond. But a lot of these people, they don't respond because they feel, hey, I'm too big. I'm too big to respond. I'm not giving any information. I'm too big to give information. A lot of these people are behind paywalls. You gotta watch their videos behind paywalls. People who make 3 and 4 and 5 hour videos on near-death experiences, and a lot of those videos on that are 3 or 4 or 5 hours on near-death experiences are behind paywalls, because it's all based off of ego. It's ego-driven. People who are charging $300 and $400 for spiritual services that helps improve the ISB. Ego. And that's what Billy Carson has been running off of. Ego. I've heard a lot of people say, yeah, I've tried to email Billy Carson, ask some questions on this and that, and I never got a response back. Ego. And this is one of the reasons why I decided to come on the scene. Because someone has to be different than that. And this is why, and not to brag on myself, because even though I am a powerful ISB, just like all of you are out there, but I'm just a regular person. But I'm a regular person, but at the same time, I'm also a powerful ISB. But I do want to say, this is why I make it a habit. If anyone emails me, I may not get back to them right away, but I do respond. Because I know what it feels like to be in that space where you're writing that email or you're sending that comment and you're looking for answers and you don't get the answers from the very person that you're looking to for the answers. I know how that feels, and I never want to make others feel that way. I know how it feels to want the answers but can't afford to get the answers. I know how that feels. And so it's unfortunate that a lot of people don't have that type of mindset. And Billy Carson has never had that type of mindset. Billy Carson is an arrogant man. He is very arrogant. And he thinks that he is better than a lot of people. And he will never get to Pleroma, the free universe, that way. I don't care how much he turns away from the light or turns away from the people that are telling him to come on after death. If he dies with that mindset, he is going to get reincarnated back down here. Because he has ego all around him. Everything about him is ego. And I notice, again, a lot of people are like that. A lot of people are like that. They are ego-driven. And I could give a few names, but I'm not going to get into that right now because I don't want to start, rivalries and battles and division. But a lot of these people on YouTube who talk about the reincarnation trick, the prison planet theory, they are ego-driven. They are very ego-driven. And this type of behavior is not good for people who really want to know the truth about the Anunnaki, who want to know the truth about the reincarnation trick and the prison planet theory. That's the type of toxicity that is not needed, but is there. And is there because of the fact that, unfortunately, when it comes to the topic of the Anunnaki and the reincarnation trick and the prison planet theory, those three topics have now become topics whereas people are jumping on the bandwagon to discuss those topics simply because they want attention. They want money through PayPal, Patreon, monetization. Some of them are thinking that if they jump on the bandwagon, maybe they'll find hot-ass women, or for the women, hot-ass guys to come and, and be fans of theirs or to rally around them. Craziness like that. They're jumping on the bandwagons for the wrong reasons. Talking about the reincarnation trick, the prison planet theory, and the Anunnaki has become like just a popular trend. And it's not that. It's not a trend. The people have turned it into a trend. One of the biggest ones out there, and again, I'm not going to name his name, and people are stating, oh, he was the one who first came out and talked about the reincarnation trick, and he has a whole website about it. And this man is a bunch of baloney. I know, because I've talked to him in the past. And he is just totally ego-driven. He's not the first one to talk about the reincarnation trick or the prison planet theory. He's not. But people treat him as if he's a god because he's labeled as the first person to ever talk about it. No, until we get out of ego, we are always going to come back down here. I want you all to understand that. You have to get even those of you listening, you have to get rid of your ego. You are no better than anyone else. I don't care if you're black, I don't care if you're white, I don't care if you're Spanish, I don't care if you're Native American, you're French, you're Jewish. You are no better than anyone else. And no one else is not any better than you. Yes, you are powerful. But you are not more powerful than anyone else. You're not more powerful than other Isbies that are in this prison planet, on this prison planet with you. You are not. It's supposed to be an equal playing field all around. And so I'm telling you, if you are living your life in ego, you need to get out of ego. Ego is one of the biggest forms of loose energy extraction. And again, a lot of people are running an ego. And they're running an ego when it comes to talking about the Anunnaki, the reincarnation trick, the prison planet theory. Billy Carson claims to have read thousands and thousands of books. There's no way in hell you can do that. There's no way in hell. Thousands of books in a very limited, short period of time. Even I can't do that. I could if I sit up there and never... If I sit inside of a room and never go out to shower, eat, go outside and do day-to-day activities, I probably could do it too. But that's impossible. It is impossible to do. Because you're going to have to go out to eat. You're going to have to go out and deal and interact with the outside world. At some point, you're going to have to go out and shower, which is going to make it impossible to be able to read thousands and thousands of books within the short amount of time that Billy Carson has claimed to have read them. And see, Billy Carson doesn't even realize that the lies he's telling are absolutely fanatical. They're hilarious. I mean, obvious lies. But see, he is running in ego mode. And in ego mode, he actually believes the lies he's telling. This is what happens when you're in ego mode. When you're in ego mode, you believe you're better than anyone else, and you actually believe that. Even though that's not true, you actually believe that. There's nothing wrong with having good self-esteem. You know, there's nothing wrong with feeling good about yourself. But when you start living your life in ego, that's when you are running into dangerous territory. And so now that people are finding out that Billy Carson is running an ego, he can't understand why people are turning against him. It was bound to happen. Now, this debate he did with this Christian, you know, he should have just stuck to the facts. If I were to debate a Christian, I would debate it in this way. I don't give a shit if there is a different type of Bible than the King James Version or not. I know Jesus is an asshole. Number one, Jesus is an asshole. God of the Old Testament is an asshole. There is no disputing that. We have death, we have disease, we have homelessness, we have poverty, all under this supposedly all-knowing God who is doing nothing about it. People who have stood up in churches and people who have stood up and stated, I know God is going to heal me from this disease, and weeks and months later they have died. If I had did a debate with that Christian guy, I would have just said, I don't fuck whatever Bible that you think is real. I don't give a shit. I just know that God of the Old Testament and Jesus are assholes. Simple as that. And that there is no heaven. There is no hell. All of that is meant to scare people. And if God is so real, why is it that people are suffering and he is allowing it to happen? Because he's all-knowing, he's all-powerful, and he's doing nothing. Why is it that people have to die, and they have to die in a terrible way according to Christianity in order for them to get paradise? Why? How in the hell does that make sense when the people who are evil are making their paradise here on earth, but all the rest of the Christians have to die to have their paradise? Doesn't make sense. How do you explain that the God of the Old Testament approves of incest and rape and slavery? And, you know, I was on a podcast, Cult of Conspiracy, where one of the men said, you know, well, no, God didn't condone slavery in the way that you think. Yes, he did. In the Bible, it clearly states how slave masters are to treat their slaves and how slaves should obey their slave masters. It's there in the Bible. I don't give a damn if it's the Old Testament or the New Testament. The Old Testament is supposed to be followed just like the New Testament is supposed to be followed. I see ministers and pastors quoting out of the Old Testament all the time. That Bible and the gods of that Bible are absolutely insane. Putting people through testings to see how much they love him. What kind of crazy, insane bullshit is that? What is that? Who does that except someone who doesn't have good damn sense? He's a jealous God, but then you have a mental problem. If you are that jealous, despite your Christians telling you, hey, I love you, and look, this is how much I love you, I'm obeying you, and you are still a jealous God, you are insane. That's what Billy Carson should have gotten on air and said in that debate with that Christian person. Instead of debating, well, wait a minute now, there's another type of Bible, and that Bible is false, and Jesus wasn't crucified. I don't give a shit if Jesus was crucified or if he wasn't. I don't give a damn. Who cares if he was crucified? The fact of the matter is that Jesus is an asshole. And if you ask the people who are suffering every day and who have prayed and have gotten no answer, they will agree. And I'm talking about the people who are suffering every day and who have prayed and gotten no answer, and their eyes have now become awakened. They will tell you Jesus is an asshole. Something is wrong here when it comes to God and Jesus and Christianity and all of these religions, all of them. Something is wrong here. We have violence that is allowed to go on a planet. God is all-knowing, all-powerful, does nothing. People have been saying since 1922 that we are living in the last days. We are living in the last days, and God's going to come back, and I know it, and they have died all waiting for God to come back, and it never happened. The slaves of old believed that they were going to see God's promised land, and they were going to be delivered from their slavery, and they all died. And then let's not forget the white slave masters were praying to God, asking to be better slave masters, and the slaves were praying to God, asking to get free from slavery. And who do you think God answered? God sure as hell didn't answer the slaves. He answered the slave masters. The same thing with the Jews in the Holocaust. The same things with the people on the Titanic. A lot of them prayed, please don't let me die, please don't let me die, and they died. So, this is what Billy Carson should have gotten on air and stated. Instead, he went and responded with ego. And started trying to nitpick what was real about Christianity. There's nothing real about Christianity. Whatever Bible that Christians claim that they have found that is real is bullshit. It is bullshit. The whole entire King James Bible is bullshit. King James himself, look up his sketchy past. The man that supposedly wrote the Bible, look up his sketchy past. And so, instead of Billy Carson getting in that interview and just speaking just street facts, he decided to go with ego, and he got ripped apart for it. Ripped apart. I've had debates with Christians, and I've just came out and said the obvious. I've just come out and basically said the obvious. God is against gays and gay marriage, but he isn't. He doesn't say a damn thing about rape. Doesn't say a damn thing about molestation. Why not that? Why isn't that a part of the Ten Commandments? I would have spoke street facts when it comes to debating a Christian. And you have to speak street facts when it comes to debating a Christian because, see, Christians are so programmed that if you try to come at them with, well, Jesus Christ did something and based off of my research of Christianity, you didn't have it, and they're going to turn you all around. So you come with street facts. Look, Christian, Jesus is an asshole, and so is God. And if you want to believe that Jesus and God are loving, that's you, but that's because you're delusional. That's because you have Stockholm Syndrome. Because how in the hell can you worship a God that allows so much evil? Every day when I go past homeless people, it reminds me of how cruel a God is. Every time I see people battling with depression, including myself, I battle with it all the time. And I don't let it get me to the point where I unalive myself because there's meditation and affirmations, but I deal with severe depression all the time. All the time. And it is a reminder of how cruel of a God the Christian God is. I see people dealing with bullying in schools. A reminder of how cruel God is. I see the children at St. Jude suffering and wrapped with pain. It's a reminder of how cruel God is. I have heard of stories of children being molested by their family members. I mean, children. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 children being molested by their family members, and God does nothing because it's a test. God's testing those children to see how much they love Him. Or it is free will. Those children chose to be molested. Or it's the molestation is happening so God can get the glory. Insanity. Children are wrapped with cancer and all types of diseases at St. Jude because God is testing them to see how much those children love Him. Or God is doing this so He can get the glory. Or those children at St. Jude's, it's their fault that they're sick and wrapped with pain because it's free will. That's how insane Christians are. That's how insane their Christian God is. And no matter what that Christian would have said with scriptures and all of that, I would have just kept going back to those same points. Because when you go back to those same points, people who are really awakened to the truth, they're going to resonate towards that. Because there's no scripture in the Bible that can answer why they're suffering pain, molestation, rape, disease. There's no scripture like that. The Bible, God tells in the Bible, if you say to the mountain, be thou removed, and be thou cast into the sea, and if you shall not doubt in your heart, you shall have those things which ye ask. God said that. If you have faith as small as a grain of mustard seed, God said that. And people apply that scripture to their lives, and majority of them, a huge majority of them, are still suffering. They're still suffering. So that means that scripture, what God said in that scripture, does not work. I'm going to play a video after this talk here that's going to further explain what I mean when I say God is an asshole. He saves who He wants. He helps who He wants. And He says, fuck you to the rest. And Christians found that as okay. I have lost so many family members from believing in Christianity. I have had so much heartache from Christianity. I have had so many things I have had so many horrible things happen to me for me to know that Christianity is bullshit. I have had so much heartbreak happen to me for me to know that Christianity is bullshit. I could never serve God. And that's all of those things that I've just said. That's what Billy Carson should have led with when he went into that interview and that debate. But he didn't. Billy Carson went with ego, and that's why he got torn apart. You wouldn't believe how many people are suffering mentally, emotionally, and physically in this world. I have seen a plethora of videos on it on TikTok. People are suffering so bad. This is why a lot of them are ready to leave this matrix now because of, not wait, but to leave now because of the suffering that they're going through. So, but again, instead of leading with that, Billy Carson went into that interview with ego. And in his ego, he told lies that he never thought would be found out as lies. And the reason why Billy Carson never thought it would be found out as lies is because Billy Carson underestimated that Christian. He thought it was just going to be a simple debate and that the Christian was just going to sit up there and just, okay, well, that's how you feel. When you debate a Christian, you better believe they're going to come with everything, because they want to be shown to the public as right, because they don't want to let down their gods. To be shown as wrong would be to be shown as wrong is to be a failure to their gods, and they don't want that to happen. So you better believe when you debate a Christian, they're going to come with all type of facts. But if you come with street facts, how can they disprove street facts? Homelessness, molestation, rape, murder, disease, poverty. How can you disprove that? It's there. People who have prayers unanswered, it's there. People who have declared they're going to be free from disease and have still died, it's there. How can you disprove that? The fact that the Bible does state, slaves, obey your slave masters, it's there. The fact that it does state incidences of incest and rape in the Bible, it's there. Those are street facts. When you start getting down to, well, when I think that the crucifixion happened in 1622 because because now I know that there's two versions of the crucifixion, and now I know, and you know damn well that what you're saying, that Christian is going to tear it apart and disprove it. It's going to disprove it. They're going to disprove it because no one knows what happened back in the days when they claimed that Jesus walked the earth and the time with Moses. No one knows except for the people that were back there. But what we do know is what was written in that Bible. And the things that were written in that Bible are insanity, are absolute insanity. All of it is insanity. That's what we can speak on, the things that we have read, the things that we have seen. And the things we have read and the things we have seen, and even the things we have experienced, those are street facts. But again, Billy went in with ego, and he got ripped to shreds. I saw the interview. I saw the debate interview between the two, and the Christian clearly won. And after the Christian won, you could see on his face the enjoyment he got from winning. He should enjoy that win because he won it fair and square. Billy Carson went in totally unprepared. And then he tried to do a follow-up video trying to save face. It's no saving face from that. The lies you told in that interview was something else. And you told those lies because you went into that interview in ego state, in an ego frame of mind. That's the wrong way to go into any type of interview. If you don't know something, don't speak on it. Don't give statements based off of what you feel. You have to give statements based off of your research, your experiences, and off of facts. And that's what I do. I try to do anyway on my channel. I try to give my information based off of research, experience, and facts. And so I never want to go into ego. Never want to go into ego. I'm just a regular person who is also at the same time a powerful Isby. That's all I am. I'm not any better than anyone else. And I don't want people to put me on a pedestal as if I'm better than anyone else. Don't do that. Don't call me an expert. I'm not an expert. I'm just someone. I'm looking for truth just like everyone else is. And the truth that I'm finding, I'm sharing with everyone else. That's all that I'm doing. But Billy Carson for so long has been a person who has believed he is the only one telling the truth. I see a lot of people state that in their channels. No one's bringing forth the truth like I am. I'm the only one bringing forth the truth. No, you're not. There are many, many people who are bringing forth the truth as you claim that you're doing, like you. You're not the only one, just like me. I am not the only one who's bringing forth the truth about the reincarnation trick, the prison planet theory, the Anunnaki. There are many others that are just like me who I will gladly encourage to continue to do so and applaud. But, yeah, I notice that is a trend in a lot of topics. When people come and talk about a lot of topics in today's world, they'll come on and talk about these topics in ego form. And it happens a lot when it comes to the discussion of the reincarnation trick, the prison planet theory, and the Anunnaki. You find a lot of people who claim to be experts. Oh, I know it all. No, you don't know it all. None of us know it all. Not yet. That's what we're striving to get. We're striving to get to the point where we know it all, but none of us know it all. Oh, no one knows what I know. That's a lie. That is a stone cold lie. And so I tell all of you all out there, do not, in your daily lives, do not live your life in ego form. We are all, and I hate to, I used to hate this phrase, but I guess I'll use it because there is truth in it, even though I don't really like it because it was so exploited during the pandemic. But we are all in this together. Whether we may like it or not, for some of us may like it or not, we're in this together. And knowing that we're in it together, there are no big I's or little U's. There's no I in the word team. All of us who are awakened, all we're trying to do is find out the truth to better who we are and to keep us from repeating this life over again. I swear to the universe, I'm not ever coming back here again. When I am done via physical death, I do not want to come back here. I have faced too much suffering and too much heartbreak. I don't want to come back here. And I don't want others to come back down here to face those same things. And so, in order for me not to come back here, or come back down here, and in order for me to not want others to come back down here, ego has to be taken away. And so I say to those who talk on the topics of the Anunnaki and the reincarnation trick and the prison planet theory, use what's happening to Billy Carson as an example. This is what will happen when you live your life in ego form. You will get torn down. Billy Carson will never recover from what has happened to him. Sure, you may have a few people who will forgive him and will, let it slide. But a huge majority of people are now done with Billy Carson, all because of his ego. So I say to all of you out there, when you embark on talking on topics about the reincarnation trick, the prison planet theory, and the Anunnaki, do it in humble form. Don't do it with ego. And if people ask you questions, God damn it, respond to these people's questions. They want to know. If they email you and ask you questions, respond to them. Give them the information that they're needing. Because how can you sit up there and get in interviews and say, yeah, I'm just trying to bring forth the truth. And then when people ask you questions, you don't respond. You don't have time to give them the information that they need, the answers that they need. All of that is ego-driven. So that's the situation with Billy Carson. I don't feel sorry for him. He is getting what is coming to him. I do want to say this, though. People are bringing up his past. Well, his past doesn't, he changed his name to Billy Carson, but that's besides the point. Who gives a shit about that? I mean, because to be honest about it, out the names we were given at birth, the millions of names we've had in millions of other lifetimes before, a name doesn't even matter. His past doesn't even matter. So what if he's been locked up before? So what? But it's the fact that Billy Carson has been, and probably still is in ego form. I will mention this, though. David Icke is another one who's in ego form. This is why I don't like David Icke. One of the reasons. Another reason is because he's a nutcase with his conspiracy. A lot of the conspiracies he's come out with is absolutely nutty. Not all of them, but a lot of them are absolutely nutty and insane. But he's also another person who is ego-driven. He is very ego-driven. I don't know if he's still doing it now, but I know there was a time when he was charging hundreds, if not thousands, to come and see him in conferences. All of that is ego-driven. He is very ego-driven. And people who are ego-driven are never going to get out of this reincarnation loop. They're going to come back down here again and again and again. Learn to practice humility and humbleness. Never think that you are better than anyone else and that you know more than anyone else. You don't. We're all still learning every day. There's sometimes we're going to get things wrong, and there's sometimes we're going to get things right, because we're learning. We're learning at a prison planet. No, that doesn't mean that this earth is a school. No. But we're learning while we're in prison. And so while we're in prison, and even after we leave prison, we are not better than anyone else. We do not know more than anyone else. All of that is ego-driven. But, you know, a lot of people are going to still continue to practice in that same mindset. And for those who continue to practice in that same mindset, those are the ones that are not genuine. Those are the ones whom you know are scams and are frauds. The ones who are practicing genuine humility and humbleness and who are not ego-driven, those are the ones who are genuine. Those are the ones who are authentic, who are real. So, talking about these topics does not make you a rock star. You're not Mick Jagger from the Rolling Stones. You're just a person who's giving forth information. I had one person say, you know, I am a big fan of yours, and I don't have any fans. What the hell? I'm not a celebrity. I have supporters, people who support the information that I'm bringing out, but I don't have any fans. I don't want anybody calling me, hey, I'm your fan. No, I'm not a celebrity. And even celebrities shouldn't have fans. They should have supporters of their art that they're bringing forth. When you start being fine with people calling you fans, that's you being an ego. And I've seen a lot of people who talk on the reincarnation trick, prison planet theory, the Anunnaki information, and they have actually called the people that are following them fans. I've even heard them call the people that are following them followers. I don't have any damn followers. I have supporters, people who support the information that I'm bringing forth, people who support the truth that I'm bringing forth. I have no followers. Don't follow me. Follow the truth. I'm just the messenger. Just follow the truth. Don't follow me. See, all of that, oh, I have followers, that's ego-driven. It's ego-driven. No, I am following the truth, and I want everyone else to come with me, walk alongside with me in following the truth. That's what I want. I want supporters of my work to follow the truth. So, a lot of people are living their lives in ego, and these people that are living their lives in ego, I'm telling you, when it comes time for them to go to the physical death, they can say all they want, I'm sovereign, they can turn away from light, they can do the Prince turn that singer Prince did in the movie Purple Rain when he was, you know, walking into the foyer of his house and he did the little 360 turn.
Me motherfucker!
can do all they can do all of that all they want when it comes to them arriving in the afterlife. If you have lived your life in ego, no matter what you do, once you see that those spirit guides, that Messiah, those loved ones, you are going to come right back down here again. You are going to be tricked into coming down here again. Why? Why is because you lived your life in ego. And for every single day that you lived your life in ego form, a accumulative amount of loose energy was distracted from you. So much loose energy to the point where when you get to that afterlife, nothing you say or do is going to keep you from coming right back down here again. That's why ego is so very dangerous. So that's what I want to say. Thank you all for listening. And with that, until next time.
What if I told you you have no control, and He has determined your fate? And though He's divine, holy, and powerful, He's capable of both mischief and hate. Wait, see, He's the Creator. He created Adam and Eve, created the serpent, and created this tree of evil and good. So He planned it all. He knows all, sees all, hears all. He's God, so He should. Yet He cast His people from His garden when His serpent tempted them to eat of His tree when He knew that they would. Oh, He's good. Better yet, He's gracious. He makes no mistakes. He's flawless. Hallelujah. Allahu Akbar, the greatest. But in the story of Noah, he flooded the earth because he was displeased with what he created. They said, we were God's mistake. And what's funny is he did exactly what we do. What do you do when you attempt something, fail, and want to start over? You destroy it. Ask for a redo. He should have destroyed the devil way back then too, but he keeps him around just to test us. So his prophets and holy books will never rescue us because he's decreed we be messed up. This is the part where I should duck. Guess what? He delivered the Hebrews from Pharaoh with miracles and plagues at any cost. Yet from around 1938 to 1945, he sat back and watched the Holocaust. He heard their cries, he heard their prayers, just decided to not show his face. No wonder why from 1619 to 1789, he couldn't care less if blacks were slaves. If you're innocent, he'll send you to heaven. Evil will send you to hell. So sacrificing the innocent so he can forgive the sins of the evil is a concept he just can't sell. Father, Jehovah, Holy Ghost, Allah, call him whatever. God is clever. He's hidden the pieces of the puzzle and laughs as we desperately try to put them together. But we'll never. Because he's in control and we are inferior. Because he's made us simple while he is superior. See, I'm not an atheist. I believe God exists. Because I refuse to believe this. Single-celled organisms evolving into fish and whales and monkeys and people to me just doesn't make sense. God is almighty, omnipotent, omnipresent, but God is also a clown. He could end world hunger, war, and disease, but he'd rather stay high in the clouds. The religious versions of this video make me laugh because they're so fake. Christianity is God searching for man? God knows where I am. He put me here. Checkmate. God says be, and it is. He says take, it's been took. God would never search for a man. If he can't find you, it's because he didn't look. He let angels do no evil. He let devils do no good. He let his prophets be murdered and let drunk men rewrite his books. Look, I know you think I'm going to hell, and maybe I should. But how can I fight it when before I was I, he decided I would? 1 + 1 + 1 equaling 1 is dumb, and I wish we were smarter. How are they equal? When the Father sent out the Son, but the Son cried out to the Father. In Islam and Quran, you're not off the hook. This next line needs common sense to fathom. All praise be to Allah. Any other worship is a sin, yet Allah ordered all of heaven to bow down to Adam. Ridiculous and contradictive. All religion too. Because faith is belief, and belief isn't proof. God saves who he wants, and he changes the rules. I guess he loves them and hates me, so I hate him too.